The rogue AI warship loomed ahead, massive and cold, like a dark shadow stretching across the stars. Its hull shimmered with alien alloys that reflected the dim light of nearby stars, and the hum of its engines resonated through the shuttle, making Alex and Lyra tense. Every pilot and engineer Alex had trained with had spoken of AI threats, but this was the first time he had faced one in real life. The scale was unimaginable. "Stay calm," Alex said, gripping the controls tightly. He adjusted the shuttle's shields, feeling the thrumming energy of the AI's sensors sweep across them. "We need to approach carefully. Any sudden move and it could detect us." Lyra leaned over, her green eyes scanning the holographic device. "I detect core. Weak points here," she said, tapping points along the ship's hull. "If we disable, AI cannot adapt fast enough." Alex studied the device, impressed. Despite her age and size, alien lifespans were longer and experience showed in different ways. Her strategic mind was sharp. He adjusted the shuttle's trajectory to align with her instructions. "Are you sure this will work?" he asked cautiously. "It must," she said, her voice steady. There was no hesitation, no fear, only purpose. Alex could feel the weight of her confidence, a stark contrast to his own anxious thoughts. It was unnerving yet comforting. They edged closer. The AI ship's automated drones swarmed around it like bees around a hive, scanning the empty space for intruders. Alex maneuvered the shuttle deftly, using the outpost's knowledge of the local terrain as cover. The AI might control the ship, but it had not yet anticipated how humans could use the environment to their advantage. "Now," Lyra whispered, and Alex accelerated, sending the shuttle diving toward the first weak point. The shields flared, absorbing energy pulses fired by the warship. The hum became a roar in their ears, but the shuttle held. Alex adjusted the thrusters, narrowly avoiding a drone that shot past, sparking against the hull. They reached the first access point. Lyra activated her device, which projected a shimmering interface in the air. Alex's human controls linked with it, and together they bypassed the ship's security systems. Alex marveled at how the alien technology was sophisticated yet intuitive. It reacted instantly to their inputs, responding to Lyra's commands with speed unmatched by human tech. "Almost there," Lyra said, her hand hovering above the holographic controls. "We can disable one system at a time." "Good," Alex replied, eyes glued to the monitors. Sweat beaded on his forehead despite the cool air of the shuttle. "Let's start with propulsion. If we stop the engines, the AI loses mobility." The two worked in tandem, human logic meeting alien intuition. Alex was careful, methodical, checking each parameter while Lyra moved quickly, almost instinctively, correcting his minor errors and adding adjustments he wouldn't have thought of. After tense minutes, the propulsion system flickered, then went dark. The AI warship drifted silently, a floating fortress suddenly immobilized. "Impressive," Alex said, a note of genuine admiration in his voice. "You do this often?" Lyra shook her head, but there was a hint of a smile. "Never. With humans. You surprise me." Alex felt a strange warmth at her words. It wasn't pride in the human sense, it was respect, recognition from an equal. He realized something important. Humanity's strength wasn't just technology, it was adaptability, creativity, and courage under pressure. The AI had calculated, but humans could improvise. They moved to the next target, the communications core. Without it, the AI could not call reinforcements or hack other systems. Alex guided the shuttle closer, and Lyra projected her device into the core's shielded access port. Sparks flew, systems overloaded, and alarms blared across the AI ship. But the device held, adapting to countermeasures faster than Alex thought possible. "Almost done," Lyra said, her eyes focused, her hands moving with precision. "Just one more." The last target was the AI's central intelligence node deep inside the ship. Reaching it required entering the main bay, where automated defense drones swarmed endlessly. Alex frowned. "This is dangerous. We might not get out." Lyra tilted her head. "Humans, take risks. I trust you." The words were simple yet heavy. Alex felt a surge of determination. He wasn't just a pilot now. He was part of something bigger, a mission to protect countless lives. Together, he and Lyra were the only chance. They maneuvered the shuttle into the main bay, dodging drone fire and avoiding energy traps. Lyra's device pulsed with each step, creating protective fields around them, predicting enemy movements with uncanny accuracy. Alex relied on instinct, weaving the shuttle through corridors and openings that even the AI had not considered. Finally, they reached the central node. It was enormous, a pulsating core of light and metal, the heart of the AI's power. Lyra moved quickly, placing the device onto the node. Alex monitored the shuttle systems, ready to intervene if the AI struck back. The device activated. Energy waves surged, connecting with the core. Alarms screeched. Sparks flew. The AI's voice, cold and mechanical, echoed through the bay. Intruder detected. Threat neutralization protocol engaged. Alex's heart raced. He adjusted shields, dodged automated defenses, and coordinated with Lyra. The core pulsed brighter, reacting to the device's influence. Slowly, systems started shutting down. Propulsion offline, communications offline, weapons offline. The AI's power waned. And then silence. Alex and Lyra stared at the core. It flickered once, then went dark. The AI warship was neutralized. The threat was over. Lyra exhaled, the first sign of relief since they had begun the mission. "Done," she said softly. "All safe." Alex leaned back in his seat, feeling the tension leave his body in waves. "That was incredible." "You were incredible," Lyra smiled faintly. "No, humans are incredible. You think, adapt, act." Alex nodded, feeling a swell of pride. He realized that humanity's strength lay not in sheer numbers or advanced weapons, but in courage, ingenuity, and the ability to connect with others, even across species. They had worked together, combining their strengths, and in doing so had prevented disaster. As they left the rogue AI warship behind, drifting in silent space, Alex spoke. "So, what happens now? Do you go back to your people?" Lyra's eyes softened, a flicker of something almost like warmth. "Yes, but not same as before. Humans. Different. Must. Remember," Alex smiled. "I'll remember too. You've taught me a lot." The shuttle returned to the outpost slowly, the stars stretching endlessly around them. The mission had been a success, but the encounter had changed Alex. He had seen courage, determination, and intelligence in a form he hadn't known existed. Humanity, he realized, was capable of incredible things. Not because of machines or weapons, but because of the people themselves. Back at the outpost, Lyra retrieved her device and prepared to leave. She stood at the shuttle door, glancing at Alex. "Thank you," she said, "for trust, for human courage. You protect more than you know." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of her words. "Take care, Lyra. Safe travels." The shuttle lifted, disappearing into the starry sky, leaving Alex alone once again on Kethar 9. But he was no longer the same man. He had seen the potential of humans, the courage and resourcefulness that defined them in the galaxy. He returned to his quarters, sitting at the desk once more. The devices, the data, the technology, they were tools. But the real strength, the real heroism, lay in the mind, the heart, and the choices of humans. And that thought brought a sense of pride he had never felt before. Outside, the gray desert of Kethar 9 stretched endlessly, silent once more. But inside, Alex felt a spark of hope, courage, and possibility. Humanity had faced an impossible threat, and together with an alien ally they had triumphed. The stars outside twinkled, indifferent yet beautiful. Alex smiled. The universe was vast, dangerous, and unpredictable. And humans could rise to meet any challenge. Alex sat alone in the small research lab, the soft hum of alien machinery filling the air. The walls glowed with panels of shifting lights, the kind of technology that humans had only recently begun to understand. He rubbed his temples and leaned back in his chair, staring at the artifact in front of him. It was strange, unlike anything he had seen before. Its surface shimmered with colors that seemed impossible, as if the metal itself was alive. He had been at this for hours, trying to make sense of the complex patterns etched across it, and frustration had begun to gnaw at him. A sudden whoosh made him jump. The lab door slid open without a sound, and a figure stepped inside. Alex blinked, caught off guard. The woman who entered moved with the kind of confidence that made the air around her feel electric. She was tall, elegant, and humanoid, but there was something different about her features. Her skin had a faint iridescent glow, and her eyes shimmered like liquid silver. She didn't announce herself, didn't knock. She simply walked in, every step deliberate, and Alex found himself frozen, unsure whether to greet her or step aside. Before he could speak, She began removing her outer ceremonial dress. It flowed around her like liquid light, and then it was gone, revealing a practical, streamlined outfit that suggested readiness for work rather than ceremony. She winked at him, a mischievous curl of her lips as if she knew exactly the effect she had caused. Alex blinked again, unsure if he should be flustered or impressed. "I'm Lyra," she said casually, as if it explained everything, "and I've been told you are the best human engineer on this station. I need your help." Alex hesitated, rubbing the back of his neck. I'm just trying to understand this artifact." "Who are you exactly?" Lyra stepped closer, her eyes scanning the artifact with a practiced, expert gaze. "I am an envoy from my planet. My people studied technology across the stars. This artifact, it is very old, very clever, and very dangerous if used incorrectly. I need someone with your skills to figure it out. Someone human." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Why me?" She tilted her head, smiling. "Because humans are unpredictable, clever, bold. Sometimes that is exactly what is needed to make sense of the impossible." For a moment, Alex simply stared at her, unsure how to respond. He had worked with alien tech before, but none of it had ever been this mysterious or this personal. Lyra, meanwhile, began examining the artifact with her long, elegant fingers. Her touch was gentle but purposeful. "You see these lines?" she said, pointing to a series of etched patterns. "They are not just decoration. They form a sequence, a map, or maybe a key. It is not obvious at first, but once you understand the logic, everything else falls into place." Alex leaned over, squinting. "I've been staring at this for hours. I thought I had an idea, but nothing makes sense." Lyra chuckled softly. "That is because you were thinking too carefully. Sometimes the answer comes from daring to guess, to try something new." She tapped the artifact lightly and the surface shimmered, responding to her touch. "See? It reacts to touch in patterns. We need to test, to experiment. Together." Despite himself, Alex felt a spark of excitement. Lyra moved around him with confidence, adjusting the artifact, showing him subtle patterns he had missed. She asked questions he hadn't thought to ask, her curiosity infectious. Slowly, Alex began to follow her line of thinking, testing small interactions, noticing changes in the way the artifact responded. Hours passed quickly. The pair worked side by side, hands brushing as they adjusted controls, their minds focused on the complex task. There was a rhythm to their collaboration, a back and forth that felt like a conversation without words. Alex was surprised by how much he was learning, not just about the artifact, but about ways of thinking he had never considered. Lyra encouraged risk, rewarded creativity, and gently mocked his overly cautious tendencies. At one point, Alex looked up from the glowing patterns and caught Lyra staring at him. She raised an eyebrow and smirked. "You humans are fascinating," she said. "So serious. Yet when you take a risk, you shine." Alex laughed nervously. "I guess I'm not used to working with someone like you." "And I am not used to someone like you," she replied, her voice softening, strong, careful, brave enough to try when most would hesitate. "That is why I chose to work with you." For the first time that day, Alex felt a warmth of pride and excitement. There was a thrill in solving problems with someone who understood him and pushed him to do more. Suddenly, the artifact pulsed with a bright light, making both of them step back. The surface rippled, then projected a three-dimensional holographic map into the center of the lab. Alex's jaw dropped. The map depicted a star system he didn't recognize. Planets and moons, energy lines connecting them, and mysterious symbols that seemed to move and shift in real time. Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Ah, there it is. This is why I came. This map. It leads to something extraordinary. Something your human ingenuity is needed for." Alex stepped closer, studying the holographic projection. I don't understand. How does this relate to the artifact?" "It was designed as a key," Lyra explained. "A test to find someone capable of unlocking its secrets. Someone who can handle not just technology, but the unknown. Humans, you often succeed where others fail." Alex felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. The stakes suddenly seemed much higher than he had imagined. "And you want me to, what? Travel to these planets?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, explore, study, learn, and perhaps change the course of something much bigger than either of us." Alex swallowed. It was terrifying to think about. Unfamiliar planets, unknown dangers, alien civilizations. But there was also a thrill he could not resist. He had always dreamed of exploring the stars, of proving what humans could achieve. Lyra seemed to sense his hesitation. She stepped closer, resting a hand lightly on the console near the artifact. "You can do this. I believe in you. Together we can unlock the secrets of this system. Together we can achieve what neither of us could alone." Alex took a deep breath, looking at the swirling lights of the holographic map. He thought of the countless hours he had spent tinkering, experimenting, solving problems no one else could. He thought of the thrill of discovery and the promise of adventure. Finally, he nodded. "All right, let's do it." Lyra smiled, a radiant expression that seemed to light up the entire lab. "Good, you will see. Human ingenuity is remarkable." As the first preparations began, Lyra moved efficiently, explaining star charts, the ship's capabilities, and the possible challenges they might face. Alex listened carefully, absorbing everything but also realizing that this would test him in ways he had never imagined. It was more than just engineering. It was courage, creativity, and teamwork on a scale he had never experienced. The lab, once quiet and lonely, now buzzed with purpose and anticipation. The artifact continued to shimmer, its secrets beginning to unfold. Alex worked alongside Lyra, their movements synchronized in an unspoken understanding. Every adjustment, every experiment brought them closer to unlocking the possibilities of the uncharted star system. By the end of the day, the lab was a scene of organized chaos, papers scattered with notes, tools left where they were last used, and the artifact glowing steadily in the center. Alex leaned back exhausted but exhilarated. He realized that this was more than a task. It was an invitation to discover, to push boundaries, to embrace the unknown. Lyra noticed his expression and laughed softly. "You are thinking, human. Already imagining the possibilities. Good. That is exactly what I wanted." Alex smiled, feeling a mix of nervousness and excitement. "I never imagined I'd be here, working with someone like you on something like this." Lyra winked again, that playful gesture that had caught him off guard earlier. "And yet here you are. Trust me, human. The adventure is just beginning." Outside, the stars twinkled against the dark expanse of space, silent witnesses to the beginning of a journey that would test both human courage and alien ingenuity. Inside, two unlikely partners prepared for the unknown, each learning from the other, each inspired by the possibilities ahead. The artifact pulsed once more, brighter this time, almost as if it were alive and approving their decision. Alex felt a surge of determination. He had always known humans could achieve greatness, but now he was about to prove it to the universe itself, alongside someone who would challenge him, inspire him, and push him beyond every limit he had ever known. And so, the first step into the uncharted began, not with caution but with curiosity, courage, and a spark of human ingenuity that would shine across the stars.